Boy, did I ever blow that one. Alright, so, here I am. I think this thing works. Right here. See me? Alright. I know I'm smaller, but this is like a screenshot type thing. Boy, I had the last one. I nailed what I wanted to say in the last one. And guess what? I didn't push record. That's bad. I'm going to try to do this again. It's a little taxing. Please forgive me. What we're about to listen to is the new program director, Carmen, talking about, I forget what she's talking about now. Talking about thievery, not thievery, but our property, okay? And their responsibility of it. I forgot. I had it down so beautifully last time. Let me pause this. Get this off together. All right, so I paused it. I don't know if it will reflect. But when I came here from tiny homes, my big thing was the thievery. At tiny homes, I was done so wrong, and they targeted my mental illness. That's what Vanessa's tactic was. And if you look, okay, let me not do too much backtracking. Yeah, so when I was forcibly exited from tiny homes, it's all on YouTube. I was really jaded about the thievery. Okay, and so here I didn't cause a big wave for the first couple of months. You know, it wasn't bad for the first couple of months. The first couple of months was a different director who was, you could tell, been sober all his life, had no interaction with drugs, you know, and was just a very staunch but very effective and fair person. He left. He quit. Then we had this new director, Jason, who was doing wonderful. Everybody loved Jason. He was doing a good job for us. He was doing a good job for them, for you guys, for Harbor Interfaith. And after a conversation I had with him, 2 days later, inexplicably fired. So this new program director, Carmen, who was the assistant program director, is a recovering addict. And we had a meeting, and I'm going to play two parts from it. The first part, talking about their responsibility for property. Okay, we was allowed to come into the security office, check our knives, check our contraband, you know, our torch lighters and such, and keep our tools up there under the watch of the security camera. But I complained about a security guard breaking into my toolbox, locked toolbox, which he was. I know it. They won't look at the cameras to prove it, but I know it. And all that they did away with it. Now nobody's allowed to, you know the mentality. Now nobody's allowed to keep anything anywhere in the security office. What we have to do is place them in bins that have locks and are under camera eyes. However, I did this, placed all my stuff into a bin. Guess what? They threw it out last week. They put in the wrong number bin, and I knew it. I said, this is not the right number. What had happened was the person who had 91 before I did still had their shit in there. So they put me in a different bin and conveniently forgot the number of my bin. So then they had to take out everybody's bin. You'll see the cameras last week. If you look, you'll see the cameras last week. They have it all rolled out. And when in my absence, when I'm not there, throw out all my property. So it wasn't stolen this time. It was legitimately thrown out. They had to cut a lock to do it, but it was legitimately thrown out, I guess, with a lot of other people's stuff. But that's not my problem. I was still there. I was the one who followed their rules and put it into the bin they said to put it in, and they threw it the fuck out. So this is once again the new directors. It takes on their responsibility as far as property goes, thievery, and what we should do with our property if we want it to be safe. Let's take a listen. Let me pause that right now. The number of your cubicle is the number of your bed. Now, I will show you when I go back in that that's not true. They're very unorganized in the dealing, and especially me having complained prior about thievery in my cubicle. Making a police report about thievery in my cubicle. Making a police report about RJ. Especially me. You think they would have took care to note where my stuff was. But no, a person gave it to Elba, a recovering addict, who conveniently lost it. Then they had to bring out everybody's shit, because this is what, by the way, is because I wanted to get to my bin and they didn't know where my stuff was, and then threw it the fuck out. So she says that it's coordinated with your bed number or whatever. I'm going to prove different as soon as I go back in. All right, so that should pretty much takes care of the property and bin thing, I think. And we'll move on to the next video, which is going to be about addicts and sobriety and recovery. All right, this next section is the same conversation of April 25th. I forget the day, 2023, at the 9 o'clock meeting we had with the new director, Carmen. Okay, and this next section is about people using drugs in the facility. Okay, and you'll see how it turns from something very administrative and something very fair about people using drugs to her own personal feelings about recovery and how she's going to handle it by ending up saying she's going to put cases on people. Cases being cases sent to the police as a means to get people out of her facility. Once again, let me remind you, when you first walk in the door to this facility, it says on your contract in bold, enlarged font that sobriety is not mandatory for participation in this program. So let's take a listen. All right, so that's going to conclude these two videos that I put together with screenshot. I'm going to make one big screenshot out of it and post it up online. All right, but I got cut off prematurely. I almost dropped the phone, and then it shut off my video, of course. But that was Carmen, the new program director here at Abridged Homes, and her comments on drug use. Okay, and her going from very administrative. There's a lot of drug use here and a lot of blah, blah, blah. That's her job. We're not supposed to do drugs. It's our contractual obligation inside the facility or have paraphernalia inside the facility. But her to go and then say, I wish that I could say this is a sober environment because of her own addiction recovery, which I somewhere have in this hour-long meeting, her saying that she is recovering at it. I wish I could have found it for you, but this video is well over longer than I wanted it to be. But if it ends up in court, I'll find it for you. So, and then her to go on saying she's going to put cases on us, like she's going to make it her personal mission. Okay, let me stop and say I don't sell drugs. I do drugs. Okay, never have I sold drugs, but put cases on us. We know what's being said, not just people that sell, but everybody. Put cases on us because why? It's the easiest way to get people out of there that she doesn't care for. Anyway, I hope you watch these videos, Harbor Interfaith, and kind of get the mindset of what's going on for me, the common man, who's not doing anything wrong, who's abiding by the rules, and still getting fucked hard by you, the sober person. How's that?